What a fantastic performance by the New York Knicks. Let's talk about Game 4. And well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. I'm a little extra giddy right now. I'm actually bouncing on the wicker chair a little bit. You know, this chair's so old, I don't know if I can handle me going up and down like this, but I can't help myself. The New York Knicks with a classic old-school Sunday afternoon victory. Man, growing up in the 90s, you know, those Knicks always seem to have those Sunday 1 o'clock playoff games. Usually they'd work out pretty well because the opposing team is out partying at the China Club the night before or wherever it is that they wanted to go, Hell's Kitchen, I don't know, Upper West Side, wherever the best places were to go in town. And I'll tell you what, this reminded me of old school. The only thing missing was Marv Albert calling the game on NBC, but I'll still take Mike Breen on ABC. But the New York Knicks defeat the Cleveland Cavaliers 102-93. They go up 3-1 in the best-of-7 first-round series, and now they got a chance to close it out against Cleveland in Game 5 in Ohio coming up in just a couple of days. But I want to talk about, we're going to summarize the game in a moment, but the finishing sequence to me, where I really felt confident, was really not until the very end of the game. Now, the Knicks led most of the way. Now, the Cavs made a very good run in the third quarter. That was the one quarter, really, where the Cavs outplayed the Knicks. Other than that, I thought the Knicks were distinctively better. But you know, so the Knicks were leading most of the way, but then the Cavs started to come back in the third quarter, took the lead. They led for about 5 or 6 minutes, but Jalen Brunson hits a big three-pointer with 6 seconds left to go in the third quarter for a 73-71 lead, a lead the Knicks never would relinquish. But then we go to the fourth quarter, and this was the pivotal point. So it had been 92-85, Knicks on top for about 2 minutes at this point. That happened with about 4 minutes when Jarrett Allen scored on a driving layup, and then neither team was really able to score. And the game really felt like it was in the balance. Even though the Knicks were up 7, you always know Cleveland's capable of scoring points when they get hot. And the Knicks had 2 turnovers in their last 3 possessions. Well, Coach Tom Thibodeau calls a timeout to reset everybody, to get everybody to calm down, to get a little bit of composure. So with 3:11 left, the Knicks and the Cavs come back on the court. Barrett tries an open fadeaway, and the ball gets knocked loose by the Cleveland defense. And he tried this shot just as the clock was winding down, as the shot clock was winding down. Well, Josh Hart just happens to be there at the top of the key, grabs the ball with both hands out of nowhere, puts up a quick turnaround jumper, and it swishes right through the net. And as he's coming back on defense, you saw him smile. And that is not something we see the Knicks do a whole lot, is smiling on the court. But even he couldn't believe it. He had that look of somebody who was saying, I got it going on right now. I got it going on. I'm going to make these shots. I don't even know how I'm doing it, but something about this is just working. So he makes that shot. Then Donovan Mitchell comes down, hits a short jumper, and this was with a little over 2 minutes left to go, I believe, and that was his first and only bucket of the second half. Donovan Mitchell was held to 2 points in the second half on 1 for 9 shooting. Unbelievable. It is amazing to me Donovan Mitchell scored only 2 points in a given half, as good as he is. So Mitchell makes the jumper, and the lead is now 94-87. New York. So then they come down again. Karis LeVert's guarding Jalen Brunson. He gets the ball to Barrett, who tries a 3. Doesn't go, and we'll get to RJ.Barrett and the way he's turned it around lately. But Josh Hart, guess what he does? He grabs the offensive rebound, the eternal X Factor. That is what Josh Hart is. He grabs the offensive rebound, and every single Cavalier is trapped between the end line and the free throw line. Nobody's playing back at all. Everyone is below it. Josh Hart gets the rebound somehow, and he sees Jalen Brunson, and there isn't another Cavalier in the same zip code as him. He gets the ball, swishes it through, and barely even hit the bottom of the net. That three-pointer was so true. It's a 97-87 lead with 1:46 to go, and it was curtains on Cleveland. So I want to talk about a couple of players here. First of all, before we even talk about a player, credit to Coach Tom Thibodeau for benching Julius Randle. Randle, I believe, had 27 minutes in this game. His shot was not going down at all. You know, Julius Randle has some of the most obvious body language you will ever see from an NBA player. And a league that is full of prima donnas, let's be honest. Randle is like that, just on a lower level of talent. I mean, when he's on, he could be a very, very good player. But when he's off, oh my gosh, it is painful to watch him play. Oh my gosh. So credit to Tibbs for sitting him down. But the Knicks really outclassed Cleveland in the usual spots. 47-33 with rebounding. The Knicks actually had 17 offensive rebounds. 17. Seven of those by Mitchell Robinson, 5 of them by obitoppin. The Knicks had 7 block shots, 2 by Mitchell Robinson, 2 by Isaiahhartenstein. And I'll tell you one thing. If there is one player in this series I did not think was going to be this good that I didn't really factor in, it's Isaiahhartenstein. And going back, when I picked the Cavs to win in 7 games, I felt there was the difference between the Cleveland big men and the Knicks big men, especially with Julius Randle hurt. Well, I got to tell you, Evan Mobley has done very little in the series, even fouled out of today's game. Jarrett Allen, he's been an okay player, but in my mind, he's underachieved in this series. Isaiahhartenstein, you know what? I can't remember the last time somebody played 21 minutes, only scored 1 point, but had such a positive impact for their team. And that's what Hartenstein did. Didn't make a field goal, but he had 8 rebounds, 2 block shots. The Knicks were a plus 10 when he was on the court. He has been a fantastic backup center for the Knicks in this series. And then we go to RJ Barrett. Shot 9 for 18. He had a weird game, RJ did. He had like a great bad game, if that makes sense. Shot 9 for 18 from the field, but he missed all 6 of his 3-point attempts, and he was 8 for 13 from the line. And that was maybe one of my biggest concerns coming out of this game, was the Knicks' issue at the free throw line. How many games have we watched as Knicks fans, if you go back to the 90s like I do, that they blew because they could not hit free throws? Knicks were only 64% from the free throw line. That is not going to be good enough going forward. Okay, Jalen Brunson, my God. I got to agree with the people who say he's the best point guard the Knicks have had since Clyde Frazier. Better than Michael Ray Richardson, better than Derek Harper, Doc Rivers, you name the guy. Raymond Felton, Jeremy Lin, Nate Robinson. You can name whoever you want. Jalen is better than any of them, and up there with Clyde and Earl Monroe with those 2 guys. He is, his shooting, his defense, his ability to create, and he just takes his game up another level in the playoffs. I mean, the fact that, seriously, Jim Dolan ought to send Mark Cuban a gift basket for not signing Jalen Brunson, for not keeping him in Dallas, and for letting him get away. Wow. That non-decision by Dallas transformed 2 franchises, because what has Dallas done since? Make a stupid trade for Kyrie Irving and tank and then get fined. Unbelievable. Well, the Knicks are better off for it. But Jalen shot 11 for 22, 50% from the field, 29 points, 6 assists, and then there's my guy Josh Hart, who I got to tell you, he is my favorite New York Knick in a good 25 years. Probably since Marcus Camby came along. That is how much I love watching Josh Hart play basketball. All out, all the time, can do a little bit of everything, and brings the other players up to his level. They got to stay with Josh Hart. And most teams don't have a player like this, who is just so versatile. So Hart shot 7 for 16, 19 points for the game, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals. I'll tell you what, the only Knicks shirt I have right now is this Carmelo Anthony shirt. I may have had a Jeremy Lin shirt at one time, I do confess. But I'll tell you what, I think I may be getting a Josh Hart shirt pretty soon. And I think I may have to hang a Knicks banner back here. I don't have a Knicks logo banner, but I think that may have to be my next investment. And the other thing I'll mention is the bench. Now, the Knicks have had the better of the bench scoring for the most part. It was different today because Josh Hart was starting as opposed to coming off the bench, because Quentin Grimes missed this game with a shoulder contusion. So the bench was outscored 19-11, but you know what? Big deal. These games went about as well as they could have gone. The Knicks blowing Cleveland out in 1, and then dealing with a good fight from Cleveland, and then pulling away late in the end. You know what? I'm not sure if the Knicks are going to close this series out in 5. That's going to be a tall order, but I don't think there's any way it gets past 6. And I'll tell you what, Miami's ahead of Milwaukee right now. Joel Embiid is hurt for Philadelphia. Yeah, even though Philly did close out the Nets, I'll tell you what, the Eastern Conference is now wide open. Wide open, and I think the Knicks, this could be as good of a chance as they have had in over 25 years to make a deep, deep run. Even with Carmelo, even when they had the second best record in the Eastern Conference that one year, before they lost to Indiana in the second round, you still had, Miami at its peak with Bosh, with Wade and LeBron. The Knicks were never getting past Miami. Let's be honest. But I really don't think, especially if Giannis is limited, I don't think there's a team in the Eastern Conference that the Knicks can't beat. And I cannot believe that I am saying that right now. Well, I am one pumped up Knicks fan. I want to see your comments. Put them right down there. Do you think the Knicks are going to close this series out in 5 games? I want to see your thoughts. Thanks, everybody, for watching. And by the way, I will have some NFL draft videos coming out over the next 2 or 3 days, so stay tuned for that. Again, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate your support, and I will see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.